They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I say it's best served at your daughter's wedding when your ex-wife's lover shows up uninvited. One phone call, 2 security guards, 3 million people watching online. His face when they turned him away? Priceless. But that was just the beginning. My name is Ray Blake. I'm 57 years old, been a licensed electrician in Phoenix for 32 years. Built my own contracting business from scratch, just me, and a beat-up truck back in '93. These days I've got 4 guys on the crew and more work than we can handle. Good, honest work where you earn every dollar. I was at Chelsea's kitchen table on a Tuesday afternoon, helping with the seating chart while she was at work. The house smelled like fresh paint. My daughter and her fiancé were renovating, doing most of the work themselves. Made me proud. That's when I saw it. Todd Griffith. +1. Table 7. My hand froze on the laptop. I read it again, thinking my eyes were playing tricks. But no, there it was. Todd Griffith, the man who parked his BMW 3 streets over so the neighbors wouldn't see. The man who shook my hand at barbecues while sleeping with my wife. The man whose name I hadn't spoken in 8 years. The ceiling fan chopped through the Arizona heat above me. My phone buzzed. A text from Diane. How's the seating chart going? Thank you for being so mature about everything. Mature. I'd been mature when I found out about the affair. Mature when I signed the divorce papers. Mature when I sat 3 rows away from Diane at every school event, pretending everything was fine. Chelsea came home around 6, still in her scrubs from the dental office. Hey, Dad. Thanks for coming over. Did you get through the list? My daughter asked. I looked at her. 25 years old, glowing the way brides should glow. I could have asked why that name was on the list, but I didn't. Yeah, sweetheart, I said, closing the laptop. Looks good. Chelsea hugged me from behind. You're the best, Dad. I know this is probably weird with you and Mom, but I'm grateful you're both being adults about it. Adults. Civil. Everyone kept using these words like medals. I drove home with the windows down, desert heat filling my truck. Past the diner where Diane used to meet Todd on her lunch breaks. Phoenix felt smaller suddenly. At home, I sat in my garage, staring at the tool bench I'd built myself. Everything in my life, I'd built with my own hands. My business, my reputation, my ability to hold my head up after my wife destroyed our marriage. And now they wanted me to watch that man celebrate at my daughter's wedding? I pulled out my phone and found a contact I hadn't called in years. Sarah Jennings. She managed Desert Rose Events, the venue for Chelsea's wedding. We'd worked together on a commercial job 5 years back. I stared at her number, then put the phone away. Not yet. First, I needed a plan. Because 32 years of running a business taught me one thing. You don't react. You plan. You measure twice, cut once, and you never let anyone see you coming. The next morning, I woke up at 5:30 like always. Old habits from running a business don't fade just because you're planning something. I made coffee, black and strong, and sat on my back porch watching the sun crawl over the Superstition Mountains. Chelsea called around 7. Dad, I forgot to ask yesterday. Can you handle the final payment for the bar setup? Mom's covering the flowers, but the beverage package is killing us, Chelsea said. How much? I asked. $2,200. I know it's a lot, but I'll take care of it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. She exhaled with relief. You're the best. Seriously. And Dad, I'm sorry if having Mom around is uncomfortable. I just want everyone to get along for one day. We'll make it work, I told her. And I meant it. Just not the way she thought. I spent the morning on a job site, running new electrical for a strip mall expansion. My apprentice, Tommy, kept asking if I was feeling all right. You're quiet today, boss. Something eating at you. Tommy asked while we pulled wire. Just wedding stuff. My daughter's getting married in 2 weeks, I said. That's great, man. You must be proud. Yeah, I said, threading another cable. Proud. But my mind wasn't on the wiring. It was on Todd Griffith. On the fact that Diane thought she could just slide him onto the guest list like it was nothing. Like 8 years was enough time to erase what he did to our family. That evening, I drove to Desert Rose Events. The parking lot was nearly empty. I found Sarah Jennings in her office, surrounded by binder clips and fabric samples. Ray Blake, she said, looking up with surprise. Haven't seen you in what, for years. About that. Got a minute? I asked. Sarah gestured to a chair. For you? Sure. What's going on? I sat down and pulled out a manila folder I'd prepared that morning. Inside were printouts, old emails I'd saved from the divorce, photos of Todd and Diane at a company function, his hand too low on her back, a timeline I'd written out by hand showing the affair. My daughter's wedding is here in 2 weeks. There's a guest on the list who shouldn't be there, I said. Sarah opened the folder and started reading. Her expression shifted from curious to concerned to something harder. This is the man who... Yeah, and my ex-wife put him on a guest list without telling Chelsea the full story, I said. Sarah closed the folder and looked at me directly. What exactly are you asking me to do, Ray? Your venue has security protocols, right? For guests who might cause disruptions. We do. But this man is a threat to my daughter's peace of mind. She doesn't know the whole story. She just thinks her mom and I had problems. She doesn't know he's the reason our family fell apart, I said. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she picked up her pen. I'll need his full name and any identifying information you have. I slid another paper across her desk. Todd's photo, his car description, everything. This stays between us, Sarah said. And Ray, you're sure about this? I stood up. I've never been more sure of anything. Walking back to my truck, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not peace exactly, but purpose. Todd Griffith wanted to celebrate at my daughter's wedding. He'd have to get past me first. A week before the wedding, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Arizona area code, but not one I had saved. Is this Ray Blake? A young man's voice asked. Speaking. Who's this? My name is Danny Griffith. I'm Todd Griffith's son, he said. My hand tightened on the phone. I was in my truck between job sites, and suddenly the cab felt smaller. What do you want? I asked, keeping my voice level. To help you, Danny said. I know my father's on your daughter's wedding guest list. I know what he did to your family, and I want to give you something that might be useful. We met at a coffee shop in Scottsdale an hour later. Danny was in his late 20s, dressed in business casual, and he had his father's eyes, but none of his smugness. He slid a USB drive across the table. What's on this? I asked. Evidence. My father's been sued twice for harassment at his dealership. Settled both cases out of court. There's also documentation of him manipulating insurance claims. Nothing that sent him to jail, but enough to show he's not the stand-up guy he pretends to be, Danny explained. Why are you doing this? I asked. Danny's jaw tightened. Because he destroyed my family too. My mom, my 2 sisters. He walked out on us for your ex-wife, then walked out on her when someone younger came along. He's a user, Mr. Blake, and I'm tired of watching him get away with it. I looked at this kid, probably close to Chelsea's age, and saw the same pain I'd carried for years. Your sister's getting married, right? She deserves better than having him there, Danny said. My father ruins things. It's what he does. I pocketed the USB drive. This stays between us. Understood. And Mr. Blake? I hope your daughter has a beautiful wedding, Danny said. Driving back, I thought about Todd's son turning against him. Some men burn so many bridges, even their own kids won't defend them. That evening, I loaded the USB contents onto my laptop. Danny wasn't exaggerating. Harassment complaints from female employees. Fraudulent insurance documentation. Even a DUI from 2 years ago that somehow got buried. I made copies and added them to the folder I'd given Sarah. Then I called her. Sarah, it's Ray. I have additional documentation you should see, I said. More on the guest we discussed, she asked. Yeah, this makes it even clearer he's a liability. Bring it by tomorrow. I'll update our security briefing, Sarah said. I hung up and stared at my laptop screen. Todd Griffith thought he was untouchable. Thought he could show up anywhere, do anything, and face no consequences. He was about to learn different. The week before Chelsea's wedding passed in a blur of last-minute tasks. I installed new lighting in the bridal suite at my daughter's request, fixed a wobbly table at the venue, and wrote another check for unexpected expenses. Every time I was there, I saw Sarah briefly. She'd give me a subtle nod. Everything was set. Chelsea called me Thursday night, 5 days before the wedding. Dad, I need to tell you something, and please don't freak out, my daughter said. My stomach dropped. What's wrong? Justin's flying in tomorrow. He's taking a few days off from school to be here, Chelsea said. Justin, my son, 21 years old, and finishing up his junior year at Arizona State. I hadn't told him about Todd being on the guest list. Hadn't wanted to drag him into the drama. That's great, sweetheart. I'll pick him up from the airport, I said. Thanks, Dad. And one more thing. Mom's having everyone over for a pre-wedding dinner Saturday night. You're invited. She wants it to be, civil. Civil. That word again. I'll be there, I told her. Friday afternoon, I picked Justin up from Sky Harbor. He'd grown since Christmas, filled out more in the shoulders. Kid was playing club rugby at ASU, and it showed. Good to see you, old man, Justin said, throwing his duffel in the truck bed. You too, son. How's school? Brutal, but I'm surviving. So what's this I hear about Mom inviting some random guy to the wedding? He asked. I glanced at him. Who told you that? Chelsea mentioned someone named Todd. Said he was Mom's old friend. But her voice got weird when she said it. So I figured there's more to the story, Justin said. I merged onto the freeway before answering. Todd Griffith. He's the guy your mother had an affair with. Justin was quiet for a beat. And she invited him to Chelsea's wedding? Apparently. That's messed up, Dad. Does Chelsea know? She knows your mom, and I had problems. She doesn't know all the details, I said. Justin stared out the window. You going to do something about it? I kept my eyes on the road. Already handled. My son looked at me with something like respect. Good. Guy sounds like a piece of work. That evening, Justin and I grilled steaks in my backyard. He told me about school, about rugby, about a girl he was seeing. Normal father-son stuff. But I could tell his mind kept circling back to the Todd situation. Dad, if something goes down at the wedding, I've got your back. You know that, right? Justin said. I flipped a steak. Nothing's going down. It's your sister's day. Going to be perfect. You're up to something. I can tell, he said. Just making sure uninvited problems stay uninvited. I replied. Justin grinned. Like I said, I've got your back. Having my son there, knowing he understood, made everything clearer. This wasn't about revenge. This was about protection. About making sure Chelsea's wedding stayed pure, untainted by the man who'd already taken enough from our family. Saturday came. The pre-wedding dinner at Diane's house. Time to smile, shake hands, and pretend everything was fine, while Todd Griffith had no idea what was waiting for him. Saturday morning broke clear and hot over Phoenix. I woke up at 5, showered, and put on my best charcoal suit. The one I'd bought specifically for this day. In the mirror, I looked like a man ready for his daughter's wedding. Nobody would guess I was also ready for war. Justin was already awake, sitting on my couch in his suit pants and undershirt, scrolling through his phone. Big day, he said, looking up. Yeah, you ready? I asked. Question is, are you ready? My son replied. I poured coffee for both of us. Everything's in place. Sarah's got security briefed. Todd's name is flagged. When he shows up, they'll intercept him before he gets anywhere near the ceremony. And if he makes a scene? Justin asked. That's on him. We stay calm, stay quiet. This is Chelsea's day. We're just making sure it stays that way. I explained. We arrived at Desert Rose Events at noon. The place looked incredible. White chairs arranged in perfect rows, flower arrangements everywhere, string quartet setting up under the cover pavilion. Chelsea had wanted elegant and simple. She got it. I found Sarah near the entrance, clipboard in hand, directing vendors. Ray, she said, pulling me aside. Security team is briefed. Todd Griffith's photo is with both guards at check-in. The moment he arrives, they'll handle it. Discreetly, I asked. As possible. But if he refuses to leave, they're prepared to escalate, Sarah explained. Thank you for this, I said. You're a good father, Ray. Your daughter's lucky to have you. She replied. Guests started arriving around 1:30. I shook hands, hugged relatives, accepted congratulations. Diane appeared in a lavender dress, playing the gracious mother of the bride. When she saw me, she smiled that fake smile she'd perfected. Ray, you look nice, Diane said. Thanks. Everything looks beautiful, I replied. It does, doesn't it? I'm so glad we could both put aside our differences for Chelsea's sake, she continued. I just nodded. Let her think whatever she wanted. Justin stayed close, watching the entrance. Around 2 o'clock, I saw him stiffen slightly. He caught my eye and gave a subtle nod toward the parking lot. A white BMW had just pulled in. Todd Griffith stepped out, wearing a navy suit that probably cost more than my truck payment. He had a woman with him, younger, brunette, wearing too much makeup. They walked toward check-in like they owned the place. I watched from a distance as one of the security guards stepped forward. The guard was tall, professional, ex-military by the look of him. He said something to Todd, gesturing away from the venue. Todd's expression shifted from confused to annoyed. His voice carried across the lawn. There must be some mistake. I'm on a guest list. Todd Griffith. The second guard joined the first. More words exchanged. Todd's face was turning red now. The woman with him looked uncomfortable, glancing around. Sir, you're not permitted on the premises. We're going to have to ask you to leave, the first guard said loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. People started turning. Whispers began spreading like wildfire. Chelsea came running from the bridal suite, still in her robe, hair half done. What's going on? My daughter asked, panic in her voice. Todd saw her and tried to move forward. Chelsea, there's been some confusion. Both guards blocked his path. Sir, step back. I walked over slowly, keeping my expression neutral. Justin followed. Chelsea looked from Todd to the guards to me. Dad, what's happening? Security's doing their job. Sweetheart, let's get you back inside. Your makeup artist is waiting, I said calmly. But Todd is leaving. Aren't you, Todd? I said, looking directly at him. Todd's face went from red to purple. His date grabbed his arm, whispering urgently that they should just go. But Todd wasn't the type to back down quietly. Not when people were watching. This is ridiculous, Todd announced loudly. I was personally invited by Diane Blake. There's been a mistake. More guests were gathering now. Cell phones appeared. Someone was definitely recording. Diane pushed through the crowd, her expression shifting from confusion to horror as she understood what was happening. What is this? My ex-wife demanded. Todd is my guest. He has every right to be here. Sarah Jennings appeared, professional and unshakable. Mrs. Blake, we received documented concerns about Mr. Griffith's presence creating a potential disruption. Our security team made the decision to restrict his access. Documented concerns? From who? Diane's voice rose. That's confidential, Sarah replied calmly. Todd stepped toward me. You did this. You're behind this, aren't you, Ray? I didn't move. Didn't flinch. Just looked him in the eye. I'm just here for my daughter's wedding. Security handles security, I said evenly. You son of a... Todd started. Careful, Justin said, moving beside me. My son was 3 inches taller than Todd and had 30 pounds of muscle on him. You're already being asked to leave. Don't make it worse. The security guards positioned themselves between us. Sir, you need to leave now, or we call the police. Todd looked around at all the faces watching him, at the phones recording, at his date, who was already backing toward the parking lot, at Diane, who stood frozen, her perfect mother of the bride moment crumbling. This is insane, Todd muttered, but he started walking backward toward his car. His date was already there, door open, clearly done with the entire situation. I can't believe this, Todd said to no one in particular. I came here to celebrate, and this is what I get. You came here uninvited to a family you destroyed, Justin said quietly, but loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. What did you expect? That stopped Todd cold. He stared at Justin, then at me, then at the crowd of wedding guests who were now looking at him with disgust rather than sympathy. He got in his BMW without another word. The engine roared to life, and gravel sprayed as he peeled out of the parking lot. The silence that followed was thick. Then someone started clapping. Then another person. Within seconds, scattered applause broke out among the guests who'd witnessed everything. Diane stood there, mascara starting to run, looking between me and Sarah and the departing BMW. How could you? She asked me. How could I protect my daughter's wedding? Pretty easily, actually, I replied. Chelsea appeared again, now with her maid of honor, trying to usher her back inside. My daughter looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Shock. Maybe anger. Maybe something else. Dad, we need to talk, Chelsea said. After the ceremony. Right now, you need to finish getting ready. Your groom is waiting, I told her gently. But, Chelsea, Justin interrupted. Dad's right. This is your day. Don't let this ruin it. Get married, be happy. We'll sort everything else out later. My daughter looked at her brother, then at me, then nodded slowly. Her maid of honor pulled her back toward the bridal suite. The crowd began dispersing, buzzing with conversation. I heard fragments. Did you know the guy had an affair with her mom? No way. That's why they got divorced. Can you believe she invited him to her daughter's wedding? Diane stood alone for a moment, then turned and walked quickly toward the venue office. Probably to yell at Sarah. Good luck with that. Justin and I headed toward the groom side of the venue. That went about as well as could be expected, my son said. Yeah, now we just get through the ceremony and reception, I replied. Think Mom's going to cause more problems? I straightened my tie. Probably, but that's her choice. We did what we needed to do. The ceremony was supposed to start at 3. At 2:45, Chelsea pulled me behind the rose arch, away from the guests. Her eyes were red, makeup smudged from crying. Dad, I need the truth. All of it, my daughter said. I took a breath. What do you want to know? Todd Griffith. Mom's been telling me for years that you two just grew apart, that it was mutual. But that's not true, is it? Chelsea asked. No, sweetheart. It's not. He's the reason you got divorced. He's part of it. Your mother made her choices. But yes, Todd was involved, I confirmed. Chelsea's hands were shaking, and she invited him today, to my wedding, knowing what he did. She thought enough time had passed, that we could all be adults about it. I explained. That's insane, my daughter said. Dad, why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want you carrying that weight. You were 17 when we divorced. You didn't need to know your mother cheated. I wanted you to have a relationship with her without that poison, I said. Chelsea wiped her eyes. So you just took it? Let everyone think you were fine with everything. I was fine, eventually. But I wasn't going to let him sit at your wedding and pretend he didn't help destroy our family, I stated firmly. My daughter hugged me suddenly, tightly. Thank you for protecting me, even from things I didn't know I needed protecting from. That's my job, sweetheart. Always has been, I replied. Mom's furious. She's threatening to leave, Chelsea said. That's her choice. But you're getting married today, with or without her drama. Justin and I are here. We're not going anywhere, I assured her. Chelsea pulled back, nodded, straightened her dress. Okay, let's do this. The ceremony went off perfectly. Chelsea walked down the aisle on my arm, and I handed her off to a good man who'd treat her right. I sat in the front row next to Justin. Diane sat on the opposite side, refusing to look at me. During the vows, I caught Chelsea glancing at me once. She smiled, a real smile, the kind that said she understood now, that she was grateful. When they were pronounced husband and wife, the crowd erupted in applause. Justin leaned over. You did good, Dad, my son whispered. We did good, I corrected. The reception started at 5. Diane made a toast that was clearly directed at me, talking about forgiveness and moving forward and letting go of the past. I just sipped my water and let her talk. When it was my turn, I kept it simple. To Chelsea and Mark, may your marriage be built on honesty, trust, and the kind of love that doesn't break when things get hard. I'm proud of you both, I said, raising my glass. The applause was genuine. Several people came up afterward to shake my hand, including relatives who'd known the truth about Todd all along. About time someone stood up to that guy, my uncle said quietly. Around 7, as the sun was setting and the dancing started, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This isn't over, Ray. You made an enemy today. Todd. I showed it to Justin. Want me to handle this? My son asked. No. Block the number. He's just noise now, I said. Justin did it, then deleted the message. Gone, he confirmed. I watched Chelsea dancing with her new husband, laughing, happy. That's all that mattered. Todd Griffith could send all the threats he wanted. He'd already lost. Sunday morning, I woke up to 73 text messages. My phone had been on silent overnight, and apparently, I'd missed quite a show. The first message was from my crew foreman, Tommy. Boss, you're famous. Check TikTok. I didn't have TikTok, but Justin did. He was already awake, sitting on my couch, scrolling through his phone with a grin. Dad, you need to see this, Justin said, turning his phone toward me. It was a video, filmed by one of Chelsea's bridesmaids. Crystal clear footage of Todd being escorted out by security, his face red, voice raised. The caption read, when Mom invites her affair partner to the wedding and Dad says absolutely not. 3 million views. In less than 12 hours. Oh no, I muttered. Oh yes, Justin replied. It gets better. Look at the comments. Thousands of comments. Most supporting me. That dad is a legend. Why would the mom even invite that guy? So disrespectful. Security guard deserves a raise. The way that man stayed calm while protecting his daughter. That's a real father. But there were other videos too. Different angles from different guests. One showed Diane crying and yelling at Sarah. Another caught my toast at the reception. Someone had even posted the full confrontation, including Justin's line about Todd coming to a family he destroyed. That clip alone had 2 million views. My phone rang. Chelsea. Dad, have you seen the videos? My daughter asked. Just now. Sweetheart, I'm sorry if this is. Don't apologize. I'm glad it's out there. Everyone should know what kind of man he is. And what kind of father you are. Chelsea interrupted. How are you handling all this? I asked. Honestly, I'm relieved. For years I thought the divorce was somehow my fault. That if I'd been better, you and Mom would have stayed together. Now I know the truth, she said. We talked for a few more minutes. She was good. Happy. On her honeymoon soon. After hanging up, I checked the other messages. Friend from high school. Old work buddies. Even Danny Griffith, Todd's son. Mr. Blake, I saw the videos. My father got exactly what he deserved. Thank you for standing up to him. But there was one message that concerned me. From Diane. You've humiliated me in front of the entire county. My friends are calling. People in my office saw the videos. I hope you're proud of yourself. Justin read it over my shoulder. She's blaming you for her own choices. Always has. I replied. By Monday morning, local news had picked up the story. A reporter from Channel 12 called asking for an interview. I declined. The Phoenix Tribune ran an article. Viral wedding video raises questions about forgiveness and boundaries. My business phone started ringing with new clients. Saw you on TikTok. Any man who stands up like that is someone I want to work with. The chaos became the talk of the entire county. Everywhere I went, people recognized me. Some wanted to shake my hand. Others just nodded with respect. 3 days after the wedding, around 11 at night, headlights swept across my living room window. A car door slammed. Heavy footsteps on my porch. Then pounding on the door. Ray, open up. I know you're in there. Todd's voice, slurred and angry. I was already on my feet. Justin appeared from the guest room, alert. Stay back, I told my son quietly, pulling out my phone. Ray Blake, you ruined my reputation. Everyone thinks I'm some kind of homewrecker. More pounding. I dialed 911, put on speaker. This is Ray Blake at 2847, Saguaro Drive. There's an intoxicated man on my property making threats. I said calmly into the phone. We're sending officers now. Stay inside. The dispatcher replied. Open this door, you coward. Todd shouted. Justin moved toward the door. I put my hand up, stopping him. Let the police handle it, I said. 5 minutes later, red and blue lights filled the street. I heard officers talking to Todd, his protests getting louder, then quieter. A car door. Silence. An officer knocked. I opened it. Mr. Blake? I'm Officer Jenkins. The individual has been arrested for trespassing and public intoxication. He was also driving under the influence, the officer explained. Thank you, officer, I replied. Sir, he made some threats. We recommend a restraining order, Jenkins suggested. I'll look into it. After the police left, Justin sat on the couch, shaking his head. Guy really can't let it go, can he? My son observed. Some people never learn, I said. The next morning, Danny Griffith called. Mr. Blake, I heard about last night. My father's in jail. I wanted to apologize, Danny said. Not your fault, son. Your father makes his own choices, I replied. Still, thank you for not pressing harder charges. The DUI is enough to keep him off the roads for a while, Danny continued. Just want him to stay away from my family, I stated. He will. I'll make sure of it, Danny promised. That afternoon, I filed for a restraining order. Judge approved it within hours, given the viral videos, the late-night visit, and Todd's arrest record. Chelsea called that evening from her honeymoon. Dad, I heard what happened. Are you okay? My daughter asked. I'm fine, sweetheart. Todd's facing consequences for his actions. Finally, I assured her. Good. He deserves worse. Honestly, she said. Maybe. But I'm not interested in revenge anymore. I just want peace, I replied. And I meant it. For months later, autumn hit Phoenix with cooler temperatures and clear skies. My business was booming, thanks partly to the publicity, though I never advertised that connection. Chelsea and Mark invited me over for Sunday dinner. Their little house was coming together nicely. My daughter was glowing, happy in a way I hadn't seen in years. "Dad, I have news," Chelsea announced over dessert. "Good news, I hope," I said. "The best. We're pregnant." She beamed. I stood and hugged them both. "Congratulations. I'm going to be a grandfather. Justin already knows. He's thrilled. But there's something else," Chelsea continued. "We want to ask you to be really involved. More than just visits. We want our child to know what a real father looks like." Those words hit me harder than I expected. "I'd be honored," I managed. Later, sitting on their porch, Chelsea brought up Diane. "Mom and I aren't really speaking. She can't accept that I sided with you," my daughter explained. "That's her choice. Don't let it eat at you," I advised. "I'm not." For the first time, I see her clearly. The lies, the manipulation, the refusal to take responsibility. "I'm done making excuses for her," Chelsea said firmly. Justin drove up then, fresh from rugby practice. We all sat together, talking about the future, about the baby, about life. My phone buzzed. A message from Sarah Jennings. "Saw you're going to be a grandfather. Congratulations, Ray. You deserve all the happiness." I smiled and pocketed the phone. Todd Griffith. His dealership had lost several major contracts after the videos went viral. Last I heard, he'd moved to Tucson, trying to rebuild away from Phoenix. I didn't follow it closely. He was irrelevant now. Diane, still angry, still blaming me. But Chelsea had set boundaries. That was her choice, and I supported it. As the sun set over the mountains, painting the sky orange and purple, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Complete peace. I'd protected my daughter when it mattered most. I'd stood my ground without backing down. I'd shown my kids that integrity isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about being firm when it counts. The viral videos eventually faded from the internet's memory. New scandals replaced old ones. But in Phoenix, people still recognize me occasionally. They nod, shake my hand, say you did right by your daughter. And they were correct. I saw my wife's affair partner at my daughter's wedding in Phoenix. I made one call to the venue manager. The chaos became the talk of the entire county. But in the end, it wasn't about chaos or revenge. It was about protecting what mattered most. My family, my daughter's happiness, my integrity, and I'd do it all again in a heartbeat.